Hello. The video you are about to see contains images of dolls only.
Oh, come on, Impy. If you eat any more of that chocolate, you won't want your breakfast now, will you? And Mummy says we're having my special pancakes today, and you know how much you like those. You never normally touch chocolate anyway.
I know, my Bert, but this is special. It's got all little pieces of lemon in it.
Well, never mind that for now. Hurry up and say hello before you take another bite.
Oh, all right. Hello, everybody. This is Lacey. I hope you've all had a pretty week and that the Easter Bunny left you lots and lots of Easter eggs. I got a beautiful lemon meringue Easter egg.
Yes, and I got a great big milk chocolate one with lots of lovely chocolates inside. No, don't you dare bite that before you tell us what you want to remember.
Too late. We want to remember that story you told us last night about the Easter Bunny.
All right. Ready for the magic, you greedy imp?
Sure.
Magic voices fill the air, magic memories take us there.
And then it's a really Easter. Boing, boing, boing. And there'll be all pretty eggs for us, Icky. You just wait and see. Boing. We love all kinds of pretty eggs and chocolate eggs. Don't we, Icky? Boing, boing.
If you and Icky aren't in that bed in 3 seconds, I'm going to tell the Easter Bunny not to come to this house.
What?
2 seconds.
You wouldn't.
1 second.
Oh, this is the bed, I told you about bouncing round and holding Bert up and he's trying to put us to bed. Oh, goodness, this really Icky. If I don't watch you every minute of the night and day, you're always getting us into trouble. I know what you can be like. There. Is he near in bed now, my Bert?
And I should think so as well. Come on, Impy, give me a hand if you want me to come up. Oh, I swear this bed gets higher every night.
No, it doesn't. You just get older every night, doesn't it, Icky?
You cheeky imp. Now, just for that, I won't tell you a story now.
Oh, no, we didn't mean it, did we, Icky? We love on Bert, don't we, Icky? Come on, tell us a story. Please, please, please. Tell us a pretty story. Please. Oh, we love on Bert.
Cupboard love, that's what it is.
No, it's not cupboard love, is it, Icky? Come on, tell us a pretty story. Tell us a story for Easter. Please, please, please. Please tell us a story.
Oh, Impy, darling, I do love you. You know I can't resist you a thing when you do that. All right, shall I tell you how the Easter Bunny got to be the Easter Bunny? Would you like that?
Yes, we would. We'd like that, wouldn't we, Icky?
All right, let's snuggle up and get comfortable then, shall we?
Right, snuggle up, Icky darling. That's right. Let's get comfy. Now, Icky, I don't want to hear one peep out of you. Be very, very quiet. Is that clear, Icky? Good.
Are you ready, Impy, darling?
We're ready now. Please go on, my Bert.
Well, I should have said that this story is about how an Easter Bunny got to be an Easter Bunny, because, as you'll see, there are a lot more than just one. There have to be, to bring all the Easter eggs to all the children in all the world. Now listen, Impy. Once upon a time, there was a little rabbit, and her name was Willow.
Aww.
There didn't seem to be anything particularly special about her. She lived in a burrow like any other rabbit, in a warren, on a bank, in a big green meadow. She shared the burrow with her mother, her father, and her 3 brothers, Coco, Mojo, and Yo-Yo.
Goodness gracious, must have been crowded in that burrow, my Bert.
I expect it was, Impy, but they were all used to it, and, you know, little rabbits don't live together for long. They grow up very fast. Now, Willow was the smallest of the family. Her brothers were much bigger and stronger, so whenever they went above ground, her brothers always pushed Willow out of the way so that they could get to the good grass first. If they played, she would always get the worst of any rough and tumble that was going on.
Oh, poor Willow.
Yes, but Willow had something her brothers didn't have. She had a keen mind. It didn't take her very long to figure out that if she got out of the way, her brothers wouldn't be able to push her, nor be rough with her in their games, and she could then go off exploring by herself. She learned where to find the best food and managed to find nice herbs to eat, just by wandering a little further from the hole. Her brothers, although they were bigger, were more stolid and less brave, and they thought, why should they go any further? There was grass right here, wasn't there?
They were silly, weren't they, Icky?
Yes, they were. Well, Willow was feeding well. She began to get healthy and strong, and the stronger she grew, the braver she grew. The braver she grew, the more curious about her surroundings she became. Every day, when the rabbits came above ground, she would go off on her own to look around and find out whatever she could about the world she lived in.
Oh, she's so clever. I hope he doesn't get into any trouble.
Well now, Impy, one day Willow was creeping along close by the farm in the early morning. She had found out that there were barns here with delicious roots to eat stored in them, and gardens with even better things growing in them. But she also knew the farm was a very, very dangerous place. Cats roamed about loose. There were dogs, and although these were mostly tied up, she didn't want to meet one. But the thought of those roots made her mouth water, so she thought it was worth the risk.
Oh dear, I would have kept away, wouldn't you, Icky?
Well, Impy, she was getting quite close to the barn she wanted, when around the corner came Taggy, the speckled hen. Now Taggy was looking flustered and clucking agitatedly to herself. She stopped in surprise when she saw the little rabbit.
What on earth are you doing here, Cotton Ball?
She asked, rather rudely, Willow thought.
Don't you know old Black Tom Tyrant will eat you alive if he catches you? Even I don't like to come across him. Run for it while you can.
You are very kind, ma'am, said Willow, but who is Black Tom Tyrant?
You ask too many questions, young'un,
clucked Taggy.
Why, he's the big black cat that rules the roost around here. It's probably him what's eaten my poor chickies. I know I hatched 'em, but I've been looking for 'em for days and days. I can't find 'em anywheres. They're lost, oh dearie me.
She scuttled away, clucking to herself worse than ever. Willow felt sorry for the poor hen and went after her. Please, ma'am, don't take on so. I will help you find your chickies, if they are to be found.
You are as kind as you're crazy, young'un,
said Taggy, wiping her eyes with her wing.
If Black Tom Tyrant finds us, he'll have us both. But I'll not refuse your help all the same.
Oh, Willow's lovely. And poor Taggy, I hope they find the chickies.
Taggy and Willow looked all over the farm, in every building. They couldn't find the chickies anywhere. Poor Taggy was nearly beside herself, and Willow could only comfort her and lead her back towards the hen house.
Oh, goodness, well, what had happened to the poor chickies?
Impy, I've warned Icky time and again about asking questions.
Icky, I told you not to keep interrupting. And you'll spoil it. Now be quiet, Icky. Sorry, my bird. Sorry.
That's all right, Impy. Well, Taggy and Willow were nearly back at the hen house when they suddenly stopped, and Willow had to make a dash into hiding behind a bale of hay. But she peeked around so that she could see. There, in the doorway of the hen house, was the farmer's wife. And what do you think? She had Taggy's chicks with her.
Oh, hooray!
The farmer's wife saw Taggy and called to her. Here you are, Taggy, she said. Your little ones are strong enough for you to have them now. I'm sorry I had to take them inside. I didn't want to risk you losing them in this cold.
Oh, I'm so glad Taggy has her chickies again now.
Willow was about to slip away when, from behind her, came a low hiss. She jumped around to see a huge black cat. It was Black Tom Tyrant himself. There he was, huge, fat, his black fur all fluffed out. He had been creeping towards her across the yard, but he had put his paw on a sharp stone, which is what had made him hiss, and Willow had heard him.
Oh,
For a moment, Willow's red eyes met Black Tom's big yellow ones.
Oh, no.
Then he pounced.
Oh, my Willow. Twist, twist.
Willow jumped up in the air, spinning as she did, and dashed away at full speed.
Oh, no. Oh, I hope she got away.
She did, Impy, but it was a very, very close thing. She made it back to the hole and dashed down it. When Willow told her parents what had happened, they were very, very angry. "You had no business to be helping that hen, my girl," her mother scolded her. "Rabbits take care of rabbits. We don't meddle in other creatures' business. Don't let Big catch you sneaking off on your own again."
And did Willow stay home after that, my Bert?
What do you think, Imp Face? No, of course she didn't. She had a curious mind. She wanted to find out about all kinds of things. And she was kind. She liked helping other animals. Once she helped a poor family of mice who had been scared out of a field by a farmer's plough find a new place to live.
Oh, that was kind of her.
It was, Impy, and the mice were so grateful. Once she brought food to a mother who was sick and had a burrow full of new rabbit kittens until she was better and could go above ground with them. If she hadn't helped, the mother and the kittens would all probably have died.
Oh, she's so lovely.
Yes, she is. But the bravest thing she ever did happened one night when she was out roaming about near the farm again. By this time, Willow had moved away from her parents. A little more than a year had passed. It was very early spring again, but still very, very cold, and there had been lots of rain, so the ground was muddy and wet. Willow hadn't found much in the way of food, so she decided to make a raid on the stored roots again. She was just creeping along the side of the barn when she heard a kind of whining, whimpering sound.
Oh dear, what was that?
That's what Willow wondered. She didn't think there was anything to be scared of at first, but she sat up and sniffed the wind. Rabbits have a very, very keen sense of smell, Impy. When she smelt the wind, she jumped back and was ready to run, because she could smell dog, and quite close too. But then the whimpering and whining came again. It sounded like some creature in distress. Willow was intrigued, so she crept nearer to have a look.
And was there a doggy there? What did she see?
She saw a sorry sight. There, in the middle of the yard, was Master Gordon's bicycle. Now, Master Gordon was the farmer's little boy. Willow had seen him often as she'd been sneaking around the farm. Anyway, there was Master Gordon's bike, left abandoned in the middle of the farmyard on this wet night, and tangled all around its wheels was a length of rope. Sitting dejectedly beside the bike, with his feet hopelessly tangled in the rope, was Toogie, the little yellow puppy.
Oh, poor Toogie. He can't get away.
That's right, Impy. He was wet through, shivering with cold, covered in mud, and very, very unhappy. "Please, please come and help me," said Toogie, as soon as he saw Willow. Willow was terrified of dogs. Didn't every rabbit know that dogs chased rabbits, caught and ate them? "I'm afraid," she said, her heart beating so hard she thought she would burst. "If I come closer, you will bite me."
I would have been afraid, wouldn't you, Icky?
Toogie looked at her with his big, soft brown eyes. "I promise I won't bite you," he said. "Please, please, I've been sitting out here for hours and hours. Please come and help get this rope off me." Willow crept close to Toogie, though every instinct was screaming at her to run away, and looked at the rope, which had caught and tied itself around his feet. She began to gnaw at it with her sharp teeth. It was wet, but it began to give way after some work.
Oh, good.
After a while, one piece of the rope fell away, and one of Toogie's paws was free, but he didn't move. Willow stopped and looked up in fear. "Don't stop now," pleaded Toogie. "Please go on. I'm nearly free." "But I'm afraid," said Willow in a very shaky voice. If I let you free, you will chase me. Dogs always chase rabbits. Everyone knows that." "I won't chase you," said Toogie, "and I promise, if you kept this rope off me, so that I can go inside and get warm and dry, I will never chase another rabbit as long as I live.
Oh, he's a nice doggy. He's a lovely doggy. Oh, Icky, we ought to have a puppy doggy called Trudy.
Well, never mind that now. Willow gnawed away with her sharp teeth until all the rope fell off Toogie's feet. He sat perfectly still until Willow had moved away from him. Then he got up gently. "Thank you, Rabbit," he said. "I can never thank you enough." And he gave his tail a tiny wag before making off towards the house.
Oh, he is a lovely doggy. Icky, don't forget now, we've got to ask Mummy if we can have a doggy called Toogie.
Oh, you are funny, Impy. A puppy indeed. Now, Willow was just turning to make for home when she suddenly saw in the sky a bright silver light. It almost looked as though a star were falling. She could only stand and stare as the light came lower and lower, touched the ground, and out of the light stepped a rabbit. But it wasn't anything like the rabbits she had ever seen before.
What was it like?
Well, for one thing, it stood upright. It had gleaming white fur. It, or she, wore a long pink dress and a white apron, and she had a beautiful bonnet with many pretty flowers on it, perched between her lovely white ears. Over her arm was a basket. The amazing rabbit bent and lifted Willow into her warm, soft arms.
Oh, wow.
"Hello, my dear Willow," she said in the kindest, sweetest voice. "Do you know me?" No, Mum. Yes, Mum. That is to say, I never saw you before, but I kind of feel like I always knew I would see you one day," stammered Willow. "You say truly," said the amazing rabbit. "I am an Easter bunny. Once a year I bring love, joy, and magic to the children of the world. The rest of the year I look for special rabbits to help me in my work. Rabbits like you, kind, good rabbits, whose eyes see above the grass of their homes to the world beyond, who don't only care about their own, but care about all living things. You are just such a rabbit. Should you like to be an Easter bunny?" Willow's heart felt as if it would burst with joy. "Yes, Mum, I would," she said. The Easter bunny smiled. She popped Willow into the empty basket, where Willow snuggled on a bed of soft moss. Then the Easter bunny stepped into her cloud of light and flew away.
Oh, how lovely. And did Willow get to be an Easter bunny, my Bert?
She did, Impy. She was taken to a beautiful meadow, where she was changed into a gleaming white bunny, just like the Easter bunny she had seen. Then she was taken to the big warren, where hundreds and hundreds of other Easter bunnies were all getting ready for Easter. The big Easter bunny who had brought her was in charge of them all, and directed the work. Willow had a lot to learn, but she soon made friends, and the next Easter, and all the Easters after that, she went out into the world, hiding Easter eggs for children to find, or delivering shiny chocolate eggs to children's houses, or pretty coloured eggs to children's breakfast tables, or all kinds of lovely eggs to all kinds of places. And you never know, Impy. She may even be the one who comes here tonight to bring us a helping of Easter joy. You just never know.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
Impy.
oh, we love that. Didn't we, Icky? Oh, we did love that. And we do hope it is Willow who comes here tonight. Wouldn't that be good?
Oh, yes, it would be good, wouldn't it? And I'm glad you liked it, darling. Now come on, go to sleep, or there won't be any Easter eggs. Come on, time for the song. Hands together, eyes closed.
Come on, Icky. It's time to go to sleep. Icky, darling. Hands together, eyes closed.
That's right, my lazy loves. You start us.
One
Evening as the sun went down and the jungle fire was burning. Down the road came a pretty maid and she said, "I'm never turning." I'm going to a land that's far away, beside the crystal fountain, where there's peace and joy for each girl and boy. It's the big rock candy mountain. Oh, the birds and the bees and the lollipop trees, the ice-cold soda fountain, where the lemonade springs and the bluebird sings. It's the big rock candy mountain.